Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Not Just Cooking. Over the course of the last 14 days we've been doing something a little special. Let's go back and look. As you can see, we got ourselves a nice 5-pound, almost 12-ounce chuck roast. Let's see what we can do with it. Over here we got us a gallon of water, some black pepper, some peppercorn medley, kosher salt, garlic powder, pickling spice, bay leaves, curing salt, some light brown sugar, and some measuring spoons. Oh look, some red chili peppers. Let's go ahead and grab a big old pot and let's put all this in it and see what comes out. First we'll start by putting our 1 gallon of water into the pot. Next, grab up the curing salt. We're going to want 1, 2, 3 level tablespoons. 1/3 cup kosher salt, 1/3 cup brown sugar. If you're buying these little bottles of pickling spice, just dump the whole bottle in. Otherwise, measure out 1/3 of a cup. Toss in 3 or 4 bay leaves. Add a tablespoon of granulated garlic. Go ahead and put in 5 or 6 of these chili peppers. Add in some pepper to your mix. No measuring needed. Just don't overdo it. Be sure to stir everything extremely well. We'll move on to the next step in the process. Break out an injection needle. We're going to inject the chuck thoroughly several times in order to get the cure into all parts of the meat. Flip it over, inject the backside. Be careful, this process can be messy. Now let's go ahead and pop that chuck into the brine. We're going to stick this in the refrigerator for at least 10 days. Hey guys, it's flip time. Come to rotate the pastrami. Look at that, doesn't that look beautiful? You got to have smell-o-vision with these kind of things. This smells absolutely like Christmas. This is one of my favorite parts about making pastrami. As you can see, we've already added to the pot. That right there is a little baby tiny food line brisket. Down there is our big, massive chuck. Incredibly hard to flip because of how big it is. And you want to keep rotating it. You can do this daily. You can do this every other day. Just keep rotating it. You want to make sure that your brine goes through every bit of your meat, and you want to make sure that it's covered. It's got to be completely covered with liquid or you're doing yourself no good. Pretty. Looks great. Going to taste great once we get it smoked. Alright guys, it's been 13 days. Go ahead and fill up a pot full of ice. We're going to pull the chuck roast and the food line brisket out of the brine. We're going to put it in ice and water and let each one of them soak for at least 2 hours. Then we'll pull it back out, dump the water, put fresh water in, put it back in, and let it soak for another 2 hours. Let's get going. Plop right in there. Okay, we have everything pulled out. It's time to season the meat. For this step, we're going to put a little bit extra virgin olive oil right on here. This is the only thing we're going to use that has a binder to hold our seasoning to. We're going to coat both sides. And then the only thing that we're going to put on this is pepper. We're going to put pepper on both sides. We're going to do it liberally. Once we're done coating it, we're going to wrap it up and stick it in the refrigerator overnight. Now for the little baby brisket, we're going to try an experiment. Instead of doing olive oil, we're going to do mustard. And we're going to put our famous coffee rub right on it. We're going to see what a coffee rub pastrami tastes like. Go ahead and coat both sides with mustard. Add that coffee rub. Look at that. Doesn't that just look excellent? Every time you put coffee rub on something, man, it just looks great, smells great, and you know it's going to taste great. Go ahead and wrap it up. We'll put this in the refrigerator overnight as well. Bye-bye. Alright guys, it's the next day. I have oak pellets in my tray. Go ahead and get those lit up, get them ready. Go ahead and step over here to the smoker. I'm going to set it for 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Set the time to 24 hours. We've got a field trip today, so I'm going to let this smoke while we're out with the kids. Go ahead and get all the meat unwrapped. Throw away the trash. Man, that's just, it looks excellent. You can't ask for anything better than that. Weighs 6 pounds, almost 3 ounces. Let's go ahead and throw it in the smoker. We'll let this smoke low and slow for the rest of the day. As you can see, it is fresh off the smoker. We're going to get an accurate weight of it here. £5 pounds, 2.55 ounces. That's about a 10-ounce weight loss. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap this. We're going to put it in the oven and let it rest for a little while. We've got another pastrami in the smoker currently, trying to finish up. That's going to be our experiment pastrami. The experiment was coffee rub versus normal pepper, brisket versus chuck. Man, don't that look good. Let's go outside and check the other one. I bet you it's at 140 degrees. It is. Let's pull it. Alright guys, here's the experimental one. This is a baby brisket that you buy at Food Line. We've got a weight of 2 pounds, 4.55 ounces. And just like the other one, we're going to get this one wrapped up. Going to let it rest for a little while. We'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Our pastramis have set and they've rested. Ready to go ahead and slice into them. You can see this one here with the coffee rub on it. You can see how much more dark it is. It had mustard on it. It was able to set up a good bark. This one here, just pepper, a little bit of oil. You still see all the meat, no real bark. If you could smell these though, you'd be jealous. We're going to go ahead and slice these open. And that's exactly what I want to see. You can see how moist and how tender that meat is. Juices flowing out of it. Pay attention to the color. It's got that nice cured meat color. It looks fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and slice these up, get them in a pan, and then we can have a little taste test. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and try the original pastrami here. That's what I call good there.
I think it's good.
Alright, let's cut this one here up now. You see this thing looks like a mountain. It's got all this flat land here, and then it comes all the way up and humps over. These Food Line briskets are a little weird. Alright guys, let's try the brisket done up in coffee rub pastrami.
First one wins.
It's got a totally different flavor. You can tell it's cured, but the original pastrami done up in pepper, they're both, this one is very good. Like rock your world good. This one, it's juicy, it's full of flavor, but it's not pastrami. But hey, if y'all want any tips on how to make your own pastrami, or if you want any tips on how to just do anything that you see us do, hit us up in the comments. We'd be glad to help. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a good night.